Beautiful day we have. Isn't it a beautiful day? Cool weather. I'm out taking my walk. I'm back at the Sunken Gardens. So I'm trying to challenge myself to get myself moving. But I was thinking about those pictures that came up of my old house, that lovely Victorian house. And I know it's a good memory. But I was going to tell you how I got that house. You know, God gave me that house. Yeah. So, my mom was a character. She was a character, and she lived down the street at the Sacred Heart, trying to avoid people getting in my shop. So she lived down at the Sacred Heart building, and on down Meridian there was a little store where you can go in and you can get like little stuff. It was like a little cheap place to go, and it was a hot day, and she was starting to get sick. And she took that walk down Meridian to that store. Well, she got in front of that big old house, and she couldn't make it no more. She was hot, she was tired. Like I said, she had her sickness, and so she climbed up on that porch, and that guy was gardening, and his name was Guy. And she told him, she said, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to rest a while. And I would like you to go get me a glass of something cool to drink. If you got Pepsi, that would be great. And he was like, pardon me? You know, that's how my mom was. She just made herself at home, even at somebody else's home that she didn't even know. So he told me this story. He said, I didn't know what to do with your mom. Your mom was just a force, and I just went along with it. So he went in there and he got her something cool to drink, and she asked for a towel maybe to put around her neck, cool her down. And so he did. So they became good friends, and she called him her boyfriend after a while, and yeah. So everybody's trying to get their exercise in. Isn't that good? So process of time, she got to know this guy, and she called him her boyfriend. And the process of time, where we was living, we were renting, and they were going to sell the house, and they gave us short notice. Well, that guy got in some trouble. Now, I don't know what the trouble was, but he went to jail. He spent a day, and I think it was in the drunk take. You know how they get down there. And so something's biting my neck. So he witnessed something scary. He witnessed something scary, and it scared him. And he said it didn't happen to him, but it happened to somebody, and he witnessed it, and it terrified him. He said, I need to get away from this house, and I need to get away, and I need to get to a better location. He wanted to move further out, which he moved from downtown area to Garfield area. So the Garfield's beautiful. You see it. It's kind of more beautiful, more peaceful. So he put his house up for sale. So Mom was like, my daughter's looking for a house, and she's got kids, getting ready to have a fourth kid. They're going to need a big old house, so just sell it to her. So she said, come and talk to a guy about this house. Well, he already had it on the market. He had it on the market for about $40,000. And she said, they can't afford that. So I went and talked to him. And he said, I'm just having nightmares. I'm having dreams and everything. And he said, I just can't stay here. That was just terrifying to me, what I seen. And so me and Marie went over there, and we had prayer with him. And he said, I felt like, I don't know, I prayed. Me and Marie prayed. He's like, man, is that ever he said that was an Hell prayer. Now, you ain't supposed to act like that. But he said, I feel like, yes, I'm going to give you this house. And he said, I'm not going to charge you $40,000. Your mom said you can't afford $40,000, and all I want is enough to get in this other house, get a little down payment in it and everything. Yeah, he was in the Army, and he had an Army pension or something, and good job. So it wasn't like I was taking advantage of him or anything. But you know, we got in that house for under $30,000. I believe it was only $23,000. And then we had to pay. You know how you had to pay all the extra stuff. But my mom told him, and I had been praying, Lord, open up the doors. And we had looked at other houses, and the down payments was going to be high, and they were like $80,000. And 4 kids, you know, you needed a lot of room to raise 4 kids. So I needed at least more within a 2-bedroom. You know what I mean? I needed so so God opened that door because my mom went up on that porch and said, hey, give me something cold to drink, and I'm hot. Give me a towel. And she just made friends with that man, and I was laughing about that. Yeah, that's how I got my house. And she told him, she said, my daughter ain't going to pay that. She can't afford that. And she ain't going to pay that. And and then, the process of time. There's a word in the Bible. It's a verse in the Bible. In the process of time. So while you're praying for things, whew, it's hard to hold this thing out. I'm going to have to get me a selfie stick, ain't I? So anyway, in the process of time, this happened. Move down here so you can see the water behind me. So the process of time, I was praying for a house, someplace to move, and that house came available. And it just worked out, and God just opened that door. And I'm praying God will open doors all the days of my life. And if you're walking with Him, He will open some doors. But sometimes some pushy mothers will open doors for you. Yeah, she just went up there and made herself at home, and that's just the way she was. But I loved that house, and we spent a lot of time in that house, and it was beautiful. That woodwork was beautiful. When I moved in, he said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave all these curtains in this house. I want them to stay up in this house. You hear me? Paid a lot of money for these curtains. And I you know how expensive curtains are. And they was lace, and they was thick, and they were valances, and they were just beautiful. He said, now you got to tell me you're going to keep these curtains, and I'm going to leave them for you. And he left me 2 Christmas cactuses because they set on the kitchen bar, and we had a bar. It was about 10 foot along the windows of the back kitchen. That kitchen was huge, and underneath the windows was 1 Christmas cactus. So they both sat underneath the windows in the kitchen, and them things got to be big and beautiful, and they only bloomed a few times every year, but man, they were pretty when they did. He said, I'm going to leave these here because they have to stay in this window. Don't move them. I was like, now this is my home. You're telling me how to decorate it and everything. And then here's the kicker. He said, oh, and the house comes with the cat. Now the cat comes in at night, and it's got a bed. I'm going to leave you the bed. And then it roams around, sleeps underneath the porch sometimes, but that's going to be the cat. It's the house's cat, so the cat has to stay here. I was like, okay. But I ended up in that big, beautiful house, and we hosted dinners, and we hosted Thanksgivings, and we had cottage prayer meetings up in there, and we sang. Oh, we had singing in there. We had picnics in the backyard, and we had a pool in the backyard. Not one of them big fancy pools, but one of them little 2-foot pools, and the kids loved it. And they had a sandbox, and they climbed trees, and and let me tell you, it had trees. So it had trees in the middle of the yard. Well, my kids couldn't play. They wanted to play football and run around, but he planted 2 young saplings, and they were pretty good size. They were about 9 foot. I'd say they was probably maybe 10 foot, I don't know, but we wanted to remove them so the kids could play. And he didn't know that. He moved on, and he didn't know what I was doing, so we dug them up. And Marie goes, what are you doing with them? I'm like, okay, I'm just getting rid of them. She goes, well, I want one in front of Mom's house, and I've always wanted a tree there, and I'm going to get it. So we dug that thing up by the roots, and we tried to carry it, and it was too heavy, and it laid there in the yard. So she said, I'm going to get some help. I said, Marie, how are we going to get it down there? I don't know how we're going to get it down there. She said, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. So she went and paid a bunch of, my kids were strong. My kids all helped her kid, and we had a bunch of neighbor kids, and they put that thing on their shoulder, and they walked it's only about 3 or 4 blocks, down the street carrying a big old tree, and she dug it up, played it in front of her mom's house, and her mom came home from work, and this tree was leaning over. It's leaning over. Where'd the tree come from? Marie said, don't worry about it, Mom. I love it. I wanted to be out there. I don't think she planted the roots strong enough, and we didn't know what he was doing. That tree died. But that's a funny memory that she took that tree. All them kids paid them all $5 a piece, and to get that tree from my house to Sandy's house. But that house was good for us. And before that tree got cut down, my Jeremy, he was a tree climber. He was only 2 when I moved in there, and I was pregnant with Darren And he went climbed that tree up, and I was alone in the house. And he climbed that tree, and he got it up at the top, and he waved and waved, and I couldn't get him down because I had this big old barrel belly. And I was about ready to call the fire department. I was, because I offered him a cookie, I offered him $1, I offered him go to McDonald's, Playland, and he wouldn't come down. He's a stubborn child. He's still my stubborn child. So here come Robbie. Robbie is next door at the neighbor's house. He goes, Mom, why are you out here yelling at? Oh, I heard you yelling. I said, yeah, I'm yelling at your brother. He won't come out of the tree. He goes, oh, you want him out of that tree? He climbed up that tree. Like I said, the tree was probably only 10 foot, maybe 12. He yanked him by the ankle. He goes, Mom said get down. Then he came down, hit a couple branches, and luckily I was strong, and I grabbed him up by the hand, caught him. I was shook, and I was like, now stay out of that tree. And that's another reason why those trees had to go. But Robbie saved his brother. I mean, he thought he was saving his brother. He about killed his brother. But the trees had to go. But I love that house, and that was the story of the house. And I have another story about that house, but it's starting to sprinkle on me. I'm gonna have to walk all the way back to the pool, so I'm gonna start doing that. So you guys have a good day. And happy Father's Day. I'm gonna go see my father in a little bit. I'm gonna bring him a little something and an apple pie. The church gave us all a little something for Mother's Father's Day. We didn't get in the church then, so they gave us an apple pie. Wasn't that nice? I appreciated that, and I'm gonna take it over and share it with them. So, love you guys. Hope you guys are enjoying this day. You see that? Fountains are going. Come see Garfield.